It's always a daunting task to start something new with a whole lot of challenges. That's exactly what has trailed the maiden edition of the program, Meet the Candidates, courtesy Independent Television and Radio. But we are grateful to you for your understanding, for your patience, and for being a part of the program today. Well, the promos have been on, but today the program is kicking off. We're beginning a series of discussions to profile candidates that are going for the different constituencies, both at the National Assembly and the State House of Assembly. Today on the program, we're featuring two constituencies. Egor, Ikpoba-Okha Federal Constituency for the first session, which is starting now. And then on the second session, we're featuring candidates for Orionwo and Uhunde Federal Constituency. Just to give you an insight into the candidates that we're expecting and the ones that are here now. For Egor, Ikpoba-Okha Federal Constituency, the candidates we expected for this program are Honorable E.J. Agbayima, the APC candidate, Obazelu Ephraim, the ACD candidate, Iduwe Aswe Ivie Linda, the ADC candidate, Pius Alile, the ADP candidate, Keshi Ifai Sandra, the CAP candidate, Ogba Edward Victor, the NCP candidate, Obasuyi Michael Usamudiame, NCDP candidate, Jude Issa Idehem, PDP candidate, as well as Imade Osahon, the PPA candidate. And for now, we have in the studio the Action Democratic Party candidate, Pius Alile. Pius, many thanks for joining us on the program, Meet the Candidates on Independent Television and Radio.
Thank you very much, Mr. Okoso. It's nice to see you again. It's been a long time.
Okay. For the program today, we will give the candidates 10 minutes to make a presentation on what they have for their constituencies if they are elected. And then after that, we'll have follow-up questions. And as a tradition, we'll give you an opportunity to also call in and ask the candidate questions. That's the structure of the program from now till about 5 o'clock or so when the first session comes to a close. And so let's begin with the ADP candidate already in the studio, Mr. Pius Alile. Tell us, what do you have for the people of Egor, Ikpoba-Okha Federal Constituency? Talk to people. Use this camera.
Thank you very much. My name is, once again, my name is Honorable Pius Alile, the candidate for Action Democratic Party, ADP, for Egor, Ikpoba-Okha Federal Constituency. I'm here to talk to you about manifestos, my manifestos, and the issues that have bedeviled Egor, Ikpoba-Okha Federal Constituency for a very long time. Egor, Ikpoba-Okha Federal Constituency is one constituency, but two local governments. We have had so many issues, very poor representation and very terrible representation. Today, Egor and Ikpoba-Okha have had a fair share of their poor representation. But I want to say very clearly that we are here to correct some of the issues, some of the anomalies, some of the things that have happened over time. And that is why we are here. If you look at Ikpoba-Okha local government, a very large local government, covering area of about 862 kilometers, with a population of about 370,000 people. This is a very large local government with big gender differences, the women, the men, and they have so many issues. The local government have so many issues. And I very much believe that because the local government is so big, comparable to other local governments, with so much huge population, the local government authority struggle with the resources that they have to bring development to that particular local government. If you go to Ikpoba-Okha, so many of the houses are not accessible. The roads are bad, very terrible streets, and roads. Once elected, I will engage with the religious leaders as well as the traditional leaders in the community, as well as other stakeholders. And we engage with them, we will have town hall meetings, we communicate with them. And where I will present some of my proposals. One of my proposals is to actually look at the size of the local government. If given the authority by the leaders of the local government, I will work with other of my colleagues at the National Assembly, and I will put forward before the people, looking at the constitutional amendment, which is ongoing. Constitutional amendment is always ongoing. And I will look at splitting the local government. It's too large. And I think 2 local government can be recreated from the existing local government. Ikpoba-Okha local government is like a state of its own. In fact, in some states is not even bigger than Ikpoba-Okha local government. But before I do that, I will engage with the community. I will engage with the local government, opinion leaders, as well as the leaders of the local government and the traditional rulers. And if given that permission, I will work with other my colleagues at the National Assembly. I know that Ikpoba-Okha local government is not the only local government that is having such magnitude of size. And we will look at it holistically, nationwide. And I will propose a bill. I will propose, in view of the constitutional amendment that is ongoing, we will look at creating other local government from Ikpoba-Okha. Now, and apart from that, we're looking at the infrastructures in in these 2 local governments, Egor and Ikpoba-Okha. We are looking at infrastructures. And I'm one of those that believe that infrastructures are vital to development. Good roads are vital to development. And connecting major cities together brings about economic development. Because one of the major problems we have in Nigeria is because a lot of our major cities are not connected. Where you have and if you look at it, they are not too far apart from each other. But because of the issues we have with our transportation system, we don't have a developed transport system. And that is, although they are trying to do it now, we look at Abuja, Kaduna, railway line and all those, but that is not enough. We have to connect major cities together. And that is what I keep saying, that you can live in Benin and work in Lagos. It's a possibility. It takes only 30-35 minutes on train to do that. I am one of those that will ensure that a bill is raised towards that effect. A bill that I will galvanize other House of National Assembly members, where we work together and ensure we work with the executive arm to ensure that infrastructures like railway system, as well as the train system, is put in place to connect all major cities together. The bill that will put pressure on the federal government to do that will be proposed at the National Assembly. And that will put pressure on them and ensure that all the major cities in Nigeria are connected, because it will lead to economic development. Because you can live in one city and work in another. For example, in Benin, houses are a bit cheaper comparable to that of Lagos. So you can live here and work in Lagos. There are more jobs in Lagos. And apart from that, in terms of skill, there are skills differentials. So you have the skills that might be required in Kaduna is not what is required in Benin. So you might have skill that is required in Kaduna and is not required here, but you want to live here. So if there is very good transportation facilities like train that can take you to Kaduna within 45 minutes, you live in Benin, you work in Kaduna, and that is what we are going to look at, because all this galvanize the economy. And not only that, it creates jobs as well. And the major terminals across the nation, you see development coming up. And that is why we need to also pursue our transportation system. So infrastructure is the key to development. We will look at the issue of electricity. In fact, I'm not sure why we still don't have emergency around electricity, because it is the life wire of economic development. And that is what we are going to look at. We at the National Assembly will ensure that we work with other members to see if a committee can be set up, a committee that will look at what is actually wrong. I will sponsor a resolution on that to ensure that let's actually look at what is wrong. Why are we not getting electric? Why are we not just getting it right? For the past 40 years, we've not been able to get it right. And that we must get right if we want to develop, because it is the foundation of other development needs that we need to put in place. And that we must facilitate by talking to each other and by talking to professionals. Very important. And we are going to look at, personally, I am very passionate about social security. I understand that the social security bill that was before the National Assembly was stepped down. That I will resuscitate. I want to ensure that we target the poor, we target the disabled people, we target the unemployed in this society, we target those that are incapacitated. We need to address the inequalities that exist in our society, and the only way we can address that is by having a social security model that is fit for purpose, a social security model that targets people's socio-economic needs. And the only way we can do that is to sponsor a bill that addresses this, and that's also not only a bill that will eventually become law, and not necessarily a law that will eventually bring about policy framework as well as institutions. I will advocate in that social security bill that social work become a profession rather than a vocation. Before you can become a social worker, you must be registered. As it is obtainable in most civilized countries, we will professionalize it so that when you have issues, social worker is out to assess your need. And by assessing your need, they are able to determine what should come to you and what not should come to you. And this is what we are going to do. Social security is to target the poor, to target the disabled people. I am aware that recently the president signed the Disability Discrimination Act into law, and the Disability Discrimination Bill into law, and it is now law now. I commend that. I don't have any problem with that. I am one of the advocates of, and the reason is because it's to create equal opportunities for all. Whether you are a disabled person or you are an able person, okay, there should be an equal opportunity. And what that bill sought to deal with is the issue of inequality, okay, that exists. And that is what the social security bill that I will propose will seek to address. The inequalities that exist in the society. They will target the poor. We must raise the poor from poverty. And we must also ensure the middle class are strengthened as well. And as well as those that are incapacitated, the system must be able to intervene in their lives. And this will come from the social security bill that I, Honorable Powers Alile, and some other people will present before the National Assembly. The reason is because the inequalities that exist in this country is so wide. The poor are getting poorer, the rich are getting richer. Okay. And there is no intervention mechanism in place to begin to deal with this inequality. And our social security law will deal with that particular issue.
Thank you. If you just join us, you're on to meet the candidates on independent television and radio, a special series on the 2019 general elections featuring candidates into various positions, seeking election into various positions in the National and State Assembly, the State House of Assembly. Today on the program, we have the ADP candidate for Egor Ikpoba-Okha Federal Constituency. We also sent invitations to other candidates, but so far so good. We just have him here, and he's giving us insight into the model that he wants to adopt if given the opportunity to represent Egor Ikpoba-Okha Federal Constituency. Pastor Lee, once again, thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
Well, now, listening to you speak just now, there's a feeling that you're probably not contesting for a constituency, that you're probably contesting for either the governorship position or the president of the Federal Republic. In terms of the constituency, you said there are a lot of problems, a lot of issues at the constituency. What are these issues? What are these problems? And what specifically is your strategy to dealing with human capacity, yes, dealing with unemployment, dealing with educational issues, and all of that?
I've just addressed them. I've just told you just now that I started with my constituency, Ikpoba-Okha local government, where I talked about where I talked about the local government being a very big local government.
Is it Egor or Ikpoba-Okha?
Ikpoba-Okha and Egor is one constituency. But you have two local governments with different issues.
Okay.
And I am looking at the issue specific to each local government.
Okay.
And that is why I'm going to address the size of the local government of Ikpoba-Okha. But before I do that, I said I'm going to engage with the opinion leaders and with the community leaders of that particular local authority. That local authority is one of the biggest local authority in Africa. I can tell you that. And we have to address that, because what is happening is that it's not helping the local government to thrive. The underdevelopment of the local government is as a result of the fact that the resources of the local authority is not enough to deal with so many problems, the numerous problems that is confronting.
So when you succeed in splitting the local government,
but what I'm saying is that I am not going to impose that. I am going to engage as a proposer to the people. And if given the go-ahead, I will raise a bill. If not a bill, during one of these constitutional amendments, then I will work towards ensuring that 2 or 3 local governments comes out of the existing local government. We have about 862 kilometers landmass of that particular, with about 370,000 population, a very huge population to a local government. And that is what we are going to address. And that is specific to that local government. In terms of the other social security bill, it also affects my constituency as well. So when you even look at, when you are a federal legislator, you not only look at the local issues, you also look at the national, because some of the national issues also affect the local issues. So when you talk about infrastructures, like good roads, like electricity, I talked about electricity just now, it affects my constituency as well, though it is a national issue. But these are issues, though generic, but it's also specific. So, and that is what I'm saying, that some of the issues that I have raised, they are not just issues that talked about national, they also talked about local, because our constituency is part of the national discourse and the national issues that we are having at the moment. And when you are addressing them, you must address them holistically. And that is what I'm talking about. We also have so many numerous issues. We have issues around bad roads. We have issues around poor health care. The health care needs of our people are numerous. But the facilities to addressing these health care needs are very, very few. And that is what I keep saying, that majority of our people don't even know their health status, because the local health facilities that we have, the community health centers that we have, many of them are dysfunctional, many of them are not functioning at all. And majority of our communities don't even have at all. But this can also be addressed both nationally and locally as well. Personally, I will also look at the existing laws around healthcare delivery that we have. But above that, I will focus mainly on community healthcare, which is very, very important, because community healthcare is very, very close to the people. And this is a proactive healthcare. This should be a proactive healthcare and preventative healthcare. If you look at various countries of the world, you have community healthcare spread across various communities. It is possible for your community personnel to know who you are, to know your children, to know your family, to know your health status, to call you when it is time for you to take injection, to call you when it is time for you to take tablets. And because they are close to you, they know you very well, they're able to follow up your health needs. And that is why we must ensure that we develop our community health center. And the only way we can do that is to deal with it nationally as well. I will personally, I will ensure that a little percentage of our allocation goes to local authority, because these are local authority responsibility, and goes to local authority to address these local facilities. Because what is happening is that a lot of the local authorities don't have the means to actually do what we are saying now. So that is why we are going to do that. But above all, the local government autonomy is one of those things I'm going to look at, because one of the issues that we are having are the governors are strangulating the local government. And that is a fact. There's no doubt about that. Because majority of the local government chairmen don't have autonomy. There's no autonomy. the state governors are strangulating them and strangulating their finances. And that is why majority, they are not talking. They can't talk because what is happening is that majority of the states are run by the same state government. The majority of the local government are run by the same state government from the same party. And that is why you are seeing nobody is talking. But the truth of the matter is that until local governments get their autonomy, the local government areas will continue to suffer. I, for one, Honorable Pastor Lile, I will pursue local government autonomy via constitutional amendment. And that is what we are going to do. And that will also help in dealing with so many of these issues that we are having now. The local healthcare facilities that we also want, we will also, from that autonomy, begin to deal with it. And I'm going to propose a bill that will allow some percentage of allocation to various local government authorities so that they can begin to deal with healthcare. Health is where health is very important.
Okay, now you've had the opportunity to carry out several intervention programs and projects in your communities, which directly impacts the lives of the people in those communities.
Oh, yes.
If you've done that over the years, why don't you sustain that in terms of adding value to the community and to the lives of the people? Why politics? Some say your attraction into politics is because of the huge salary, emolument, and other entitlement that national legislators earn.
Well, people can say what they want to say, but the borehole, the water that I gave to Selu people, Selu share, has nothing to do with politics. The water is there. It's serving the community. It will serve them even after politics. So it has nothing to do with, when it comes to social amenities, it has to do with welfareism. It has to do with the people. So it has nothing to do with politics. When you are enjoying infrastructures, it has nothing to do with politics. Come politics or no politics, the water is there. People are drinking the water. So the roads that I have graded, they are there. People are enjoying it. The people I gave scholarship and the people I gave bursaries, these people are still enjoying it. So it has nothing to do with, it has to do with the well-being of the people. The most important thing is to begin to look at the well-being of the, and that is why when you see what I stand for, I said our focus shall be the well-being of our people. And that is what will be, and that is what we are going to do. Our representation will be citizen targeted. Their welfare shall be targeted. And that is why we are not only going to deal with infrastructure, we are also going to deal with issues around welfare, issues around capacity building, so that people can begin to thrive. But one of the reasons why individuals are not thriving in this part of the world is because the socio-economic factors, the facilities that are supposed to be in place that should aid individual aspirations, they are not there. And these are the issues. For example, you just look at the electricity issue. There are many things you cannot provide for yourself as an individual. But when they are there, they help you as an individual to develop. They help you as an individual to aspire. Because that is what is happening. Where you don't have electricity, where you don't have good roads, where you don't have good hospitals, where you don't have good community health center, you don't even have any. Where you don't have social security, there is a problem. And I keep asking some basic questions. If you leave this place now, you get an accident, God forbid, and you become incapacitated, what happens to you? What happens to your children? What happens to your wife? What happens to your family? I keep saying it. And that is what my social security bill seeks to address. Incapacity benefit should be part of it. I very much believe that there are areas the government must intervene. Our government must be citizen friendly. And that is what we are lacking. There are a whole lot of things that are lacking in Nigeria. Basic health care, look at even ambulance service. It doesn't even exist in Benin. People get an accident and they are looking for helpers, looking for people around to help them. It's unacceptable.
Okay.
It's unacceptable.
All right. Honorable Pastor Lile, quickly. Your party, the Action Democratic Party, is a relatively new party.
Oh, yes.
Against that background, and because of the uniqueness of the Nigerian politics in terms of the popularity of a political party and all of that, what are your chances in this election?
I'm going to win this election. There's no doubt about that. Because looking at the candidates that other parties have produced, the APC, the PDP, and other political parties, I've looked at what they have done in the past. Even from individual capacity, I've done far more than what they have done from my individual capacity. And I don't even see them defeating me in an election. Very many of them have questionable competence. We're looking at individual now. We're not looking at a party. Party is an abstract concept. So we are talking about individual and not necessarily. We are looking at the human being. Even in any party, look at the human being. I have a master's degree. You've got so many of them having school sets and contesting for House of Rep. In a constituency that is so enlightened. Even our councillors in the local government. You go to a local government. The majority of the councillors, they are graduates. They should be ashamed to say they want to contest for House of Rep.
But is their right? Let's establish that.
Yes,
they have that right.
Oh, yes. Mr. Kosu, these people don't have the intellectual capacity to understand complex matters and complex issues. If you dig into that school set, now maybe 2 passes or 3 passes, or even F now or true, they don't have the capacity. You take them to House of Rep, and that is why they bring disgrace to our constituency. People that cannot articulate complex issues. Now, if you talk about educational reform, somebody that have not been to the 4 walls of the university, you tell him to come and talk about educational reform, what does he know? Somebody that have no experience. Experience is the best teacher. Somebody that have not experienced the 4 walls of higher institution in Nigeria, and you are talking about educational reform. What does he know about educational reform? What is he going to talk about? You're talking about complex issues. They should go back to their local government and contest for councillors, and not House of Rep. I saw some of their certificates. School set. No, it's unacceptable.
Okay,
You're talking about party. I'm talking about individuals. Okay. It is not about the party. It's about the individuals. And I can tell you that individuals is what make up a party. If the individuals are competent, even as an independent candidate, if there was independent candidature in our constitution, I would join any political party. You understand what I mean? If there was an independent candidature in a constitution, I will not join any political party. I will test my popularity. So it is not about the party, it's about the individual. Because at the end of the day, it is the individual that will represent us, not the party. Party is an abstract concept. Can you hold, can you feel, can you touch the political, can you question the political party? You question the individuals, whether they perform or they fail. It is the individuals. I will use my credibility. I will use my past performance. And I have said it, and I have said it here before, that I was once a councillor in a local government. Nobody has been able to beat my record. And I stand to challenge anybody. If you have been a councillor in Ward 7, then come and challenge me. I say since 1999, nobody has beat my record. So, and that is a fact. And since 2016, I've been using my personal resources to provide facilities, to provide infrastructure.
So this is an opportunity to recoup. That's what it is.
Let me tell you, we are not the same. We are not the same. We are not the same, Mr. Coast. We are not the same. I'm not a typical politician. I'm not a typical politician at all. I believe in the good of the masses. I believe in the good of the people. I believe in the good of our communities. And I can stake my life for the good of our community. I'm not joking with it. I am telling you, if given a chance, Egor and Ikpoba-Okha will become a reference point. There will be an unprecedented development. And I can assure you of that. I'm not joking. I'm not joking at all.
All right, thank you. That is my position. If you just join us, you're on to Meet the Candidates on independent television and radio. This program is live on independent television as well as radio. Our studio lines will be opened shortly, so you can also call and ask the ADP candidate for Egor, Ikpoba-Okha Federal Constituency, questions. But we also have the rules. Ask the questions. Do not cast aspersion on anyone. Whatever you say here is never the opinion of the station. It's entirely yours. Our studio line is 052-290-573. That number, you can dial it, whether you're listening to us on radio or you're following the program live on our website at www.itvregionnigeria.com/live stream, or you're watching us on television, both on satellite on terrestrial. We truly appreciate you. The studio line is open. Dial that number. Let's get your take on, let's get your views, your questions and comments on the program so far. Well, you haven't said anything about your model for educational development in your constituency. What are the thoughts along this line?
See, it's just a shame that the other contestants are not here. A lot of them are afraid to appear here and to share their thoughts on national issues. And it boils down to representation. And that is what we are talking about. Irresponsibility. And that is exactly what we are talking about. Well, I've said before, I have used my personal resources to give bursaries. I have some people, even I have disabled students in my own scholarship scheme. That is my own personal resources. And I have said it before, and I'm going to say it again here, that every quarterly, every 3-4 months, I am going to be releasing bursary for students in my constituency. Bursary for secondary school students and bursary for tertiary students. They will get stipends from me every 4 months, different categories of students. And it's going to be every quarterly. And the reason is because I want to target those that are finding it difficult to cope in their university, to cope in their tertiary, to cope in the school. So we will continue to intervene in the lives of our students, and especially those from Egor and Ikpoba-Okha. And honestly speaking, I'm also going to ensure that those that are very intelligent, those that are very good, we will find a way of taking them abroad for further studies.
Okay, so we have our studio line open now, 052-290-573. Tell us your name and where you're calling from, and then go ahead with your question. Like we said before, be as civil as you can be, and then ensure you go straight to the question. Hello, good afternoon, caller. Tell us your name, or good evening, caller. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, this is Bishop Iso from Sabongida-Ora.
Bishop Iso from Sabongida-Ora. Bishop Iso, I'm aware you're not from Egor or Ikpoba-Okha federal constituency. I mean, what's your business with the question? But it's okay, just on the lighter side. Please go ahead with your question.
Hello?
Yes, Bishop Iso, go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, there are issues I want to bring. But because of the current factor, I cannot raise them. But I want to appeal, please, to my dear President, most respected President, Muhammadu Buhari, that he should please allow this reign. Let the issue of the civilians, let it be taken out of court. Let it be taken out of court to the extent that they will decide the matter.
We are finding it difficult to hear you, Bishop Iso. I think I will suggest you just call the caller. If you can, get back to us again so we can hear you clearly. We're just struggling to hear what you're saying. Hello, caller. Good evening. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening. Tell us your name.
Okay, I'm Kishinja from Benin.
Basically, we also find it difficult to just having this echo back that is making it difficult for us to hear what you're saying. Hello, caller. Good evening. Hello, caller. Good evening. Please endeavor to turn down the audio level on your television or radio to remove the echo so we can hear you loud and clear. Endeavor to turn down the audio level on your television or radio so we can hear you loud and clear. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, this is Sonny.
Yes, go ahead. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Airport Road.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, 2 questions. First of all, I hope Mr. Banzalile is aware that the responsibility of the legislator is not to provide everything that he talks about. And that's one of the distractions we have to do in our politics. Instead of focusing on maybe oversight function or the business of legislation, we find that a lot of people are now involved as a contractor. That's one. What do you think you're going to do differently in that area? Number 2, are you going to join your political class when you get to the National Assembly to begin to take your eyes away from when it comes to money? Or what are you going to do to ensure that this money, the resources that go to the honorable members, what are you going to do to ensure that those resources are reduced?
Okay.
Then lastly, I was in Forestry Road, Open Quarter. You have this one from Councilor, do this borehole. House of Assembly, did this borehole. This one from House of Rep, or Senate, did this borehole. Is there any way you can organize? Whether you are from different political party, so long your business is to your constituency or the area that you cover, when you get put resources together to ensure that you do a mini water board instead of everybody every 4 years coming to dig borehole. Can we do that?
Okay.
We'll have
all right, thank you. Too many questions, but it's okay. But I believe that Pastor Dile followed those questions that you asked. Number one, he asked the question that national legislators are earning fat salaries. What are you going to do about it when you get to the National Assembly?
I think you've asked me this question.
Then he also asked the question about oversight function. That what is the guarantee that when you facilitate projects, you will not, go through the back door Nicodemously to now provide a contractor that will execute the project? Okay. Then he also asked the third question. You have duplication of projects across constituencies. How are you going to synergize with other legislators to ensure that you don't have this happening in your constituency?
The issue of, what is it called?
Fat salaries.
Fat salaries. That is a national issue. I'm not going to promise what I will not be able to do on my own. It's something that you have to work with relevant organs of government. You have to work with your colleagues. And also work with those that fix salary for political office holders. Okay. I think it's the Remuneration and Fiscal Commission. You have to also work with them to be able to look at the issues around that. So it's not what I will just come and tell you and say, Honorable Alile, when I get to National Assembly, I'm going to reduce the salary of. It's not what I can do on my own. Maybe something that I will have to work with. Yes, I'm not against it at all. I'm not against it at all. I still very much believe that what the National Assembly members are receiving is too much compared to what if you look at the situation in the country, you look at what the civil servants are receiving. We are all battling to even approve 30,000 minimum wage for civil servants. So my own take on that, if it is possible, we have to look at what the present political officials are earning. We look at it and see how we can. If it will reduce the problem that we are having nationally, then I don't have anything.
Just to let our viewers know that you can send WhatsApp messages to this number 0803 8726 759. Send messages on WhatsApp only to this number 0803 8726 759. Our studio line is still open 052 290 573. Dial that number now. Let's have your question. The ADP candidate, Egor Ikpoba-Okha Federal Constituency, Pastor Lile, is live here on the program. Meet the candidate, courtesy Independent Television and Radio. 052 290 573. That's the number. And just to remind you, there's another question that came in from the first. Okay, we have a caller. Okay, Bishop is back with us. Bishop, go ahead.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
I was trying to say, are you hearing me now?
Yes, I think it's.
The problem we have is that the fact that we don't want to. Now, the only Nigeria. Let us try to design that the Chief Justice of Nigeria. Let the President, let PDP stakeholders, let APC stakeholders, let all that come together and settle this matter out of court. We don't want
Bishop, you're going off track. We'd like you to ask a question. That's the purpose of this program. It's meet the candidate. We have the ADP candidate, Egor Ikpoba-Okha Federal Constituency, live on the program. Would you do you have a question for him?
The line is breaking. It's okay.
All right, Bishop, thank you. Thank you. And just to remind you of a question that came from our first caller, that when you get to the National Assembly, if so elected, would you always toe party line even on issues of national interest?
It's all about consultation. This is democracy. You consult. As I was talking about Ikpoba-Okha just now, and I told you I will consult with the Enoges, the Ojowe's, the chiefs. You don't just, once you are elected, you are responsible to the people. You consult with your party. So it will be wrong to say that as an elected representative, you are on your own. Yes, I will consult with my party. I will consult with various stakeholders on issues. It depends on the issue. The issue will determine on who to consult with, and that is what we are going to do. Yes, consultation.
We have a studio line still open, 052-290-573. Hello, caller, good evening. Remember, WhatsApp number 0803-8726-759. WhatsApp only to that number. But our studio line is still open on the screen, 052-290-573. You also have the WhatsApp number on the screen. Just in case you can call, you can take advantage of the WhatsApp number to be part of the program. Hello, good evening, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from? Please endeavor to always turn down the audio level on your TV and radio. Turn down the audio level on your TV and radio. Hello, caller.
I want to comment the effort of Engineer Pius Alile.
Okay.
First of all, for honoring your invitation.
Thank you.
This is a level he is now. We want a new political party that will turn around the fortune of this constituency. And I hope that God said when he comes to power, he's going to do his best to ensure that he represents us adequately. Because the community are set up so far. The community that is really affecting us. Ikpoba-Okha, for example, now, is big enough to have a 200 local government population of Ikpoba-Okha. And we hope that God says when he wins, when he gets there, he's going to do the best for us. Thank you, and God bless.
For your contribution. 052-290-573. That's the studio number. You also have the WhatsApp number on the screen, so you can send a message to. We'll read it here. If there's a question, we'll direct it to the ADP candidate who is live with us here on the program. Meet the candidate on independent television and radio. Hello, caller. Good evening. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Hello, caller. What's your name and where you're calling from? Yes, good evening. Okay, go ahead.
Hello?
Let's go ahead. We're listening to you. Go ahead with your question.
Thank you very much for my contribution. I just wanted to ask a question about Ikpoba-Okha precisely.
Yeah. Insecurity. Okay. So you heard the question.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
I think that's a very brilliant question. I have an idea. I do not believe, I have never believed that it is when you have so many policemen that can provide security. I don't really believe that. We need to find a way of securing our environment, securing our society. And I have always said that if we look at the technology is the easiest way of tackling insecurity in every community. When you have CCTV camera here and there, you have a control room that monitors a vast area. And because what CCTV camera does is not only to prevent, it also helps to arrest and prosecute offenders.
Okay.
I think that I have said that when I get to National Assembly, I will propose a bill that will read that every business that is worth more than 10 million naira a year, every business whose income is worth more than 10 million, to have CCTV camera installed. What that means is that once the CCTV camera is once there is a CCTV control room here, the cameras are outside.
Okay.
So when you do that, what you find is that because Ikpoba-Okha has a lot of business. It's a place where you have small business here and there, big business here. And when you do that, what you are doing is that you are eventually just securing the whole environment. Because every business, every 5-10 minutes, one business, they have CCTV camera. And that is the best way of securing communities.
Okay, we have a last caller on the program. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Hello, caller. Good evening. Yes, good evening. What's your name and where you calling from? Okay, go ahead. Okay.
At the federal level, we have the DSC, we have a master's degree like you, so that people who have less than will not even have a place at the national level, even at the state level. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I'm sure you heard that question.
Oh yes, what a brilliant question. Oh, I've said that before. School sets or SSC, as the case may be, is too low for any House of Rep or National Assembly responsibility. Just too low. Because as far as I'm concerned, it has to do with intellectual capacity. And that is why I keep saying that majority of the people that are contesting for the House of Rep at the moment, they don't have the required requisites to actually represent our people effectively and adequately. I am not saying that they don't have the basic requirements, but I am saying
in accordance
with the law.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying.
And they have the right to contest.
Because I know the law.
Yeah.
But that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
But I am saying they are not sufficiently equipped to represent us. They are not sufficiently equipped at all.
Okay.
And I will propose that if you want to, when I get to National Assembly, I'm going to work with the Committee on Education. I'm going to also look at how we can address this particular issue.
Okay.
Because I very much believe that at that level, you shouldn't be contesting for House of Reps.
All right, we're going to stop you here because we're out of time for the first session on Meet the Candidates on Independent Television and Radio. Of course, we had the privilege of having the ADP candidate for Egor, Ikpoba-Okha Federal Constituency, amongst the about 10 candidates in that constituency. Interesting. And unfortunately, others didn't show up. Others we expected didn't show up. But that's okay. That's the way life is. We want to say big thanks to you, Honorable Pastor Lile, for making time to be part of this program.